Hi everyone, it's Professor Monty and we're learning how to solve for a variable. So getting a given variable by itself is something that we often have to do when we're working with formulas. Okay, so think of the variables just as numbers and undo the operations as we normally would do. If we have a 3 times x, we know we have to divide by 3, but we have an a times x, think of that a just as the 3 and do the same operation, division in this case. Let me give you some examples so we can kind of see how to do it. Solve for b. I have the formula a equals b plus c over 2. Oftentimes, if we have fractions in the problems, we want to get rid of the fractions first. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by the LCD, which is 2 in this case. These 2's are going to cancel out. There's no 2 to distribute to the b plus c anymore. I cancel it out with the 2 on the bottom. 2 divided by 2 is 1, just leaves me with b plus c on the right-hand side. And now I have 2a on the left-hand side. Again, I'm trying to solve for b. Well, the opposite of adding c is subtracting c. If I do the same thing to both sides, that's legal. The c's cancel out, that just gives me b. And so I have 2a minus c, and I'm done. So I've solved this original equation for a different variable to solve for b. Okay, let's look at this one. P, perimeter, equals twice the length plus twice the width at 2L plus 2W. I want to solve this one for W. Well, it's usually easier to subtract the 2L before I divide by 2. I'm going to run into fractions if I do division before I do addition or subtraction. So usually I'll do multiplication first if I need to declare a fraction, then addition and or subtraction, and then division last. So in this case, I want W, so I'm going to get rid of the 2L by subtracting 2L from both sides. And over on the left, I have P minus 2L. On the right, 2L minus 2L is 0. 0 plus 2W is just 2W. And now I want to get rid of that 2. Well, it's being multiplied, so the opposite's division. So I'll divide both sides by 2. Now notice, these 2's can't cancel because this is a term. If I have addition or subtraction, I can't cancel the 2's unless I cancel the 2 out of here also. So these 2 cancels, I just get the W. And I get W equals P minus 2L divided by 2. I'm going to leave it that way. I could break this up into 2 separate fractions and then reduce the 2 from the second fraction, but I'm not going to in this case. Either way should be acceptable from your instructor. Okay, and then the last one, solve for t, but notice in the equation capital A equals little a t plus little b t, I have t in 2 different places. Whenever you run into a problem where you're trying to solve for a variable that's in more than one place in the equation, if they're just to the first power, like this, in this case here, with the t to the first power, what I have to do is I have to get anything with a t on it on one side, everything else on the other side, and then factor out the t. That's the only way I'm going to go from 2 t's to a single t if I can't combine my terms because I don't know what a and b are. I'm going to factor it out. So I get a equals, factor out the t, I get t times a plus b. Now I only have a single t. It's multiplied by a plus b, so again I do the opposite, which is division. Divide by a plus b. So now the a plus b's cancel out, and I'm left with just t. T equals capital A over lowercase a plus b, and that's my answer. Okay. So think of these variables just as numbers. You're going one step up in abstraction because we have more letters instead of numbers, but the operations are just the same as we've done before. Okay, practice these, work with these, and I think you can get it.